Today, we're talking about the fastest way to look insecure. And here's the good news right out of the gate. This isn't about being shy, introverted, quiet, or reserved. Some of the most confident people I know barely talk. This is about behavior, specifically reaction behavior, because insecurity doesn't whisper, it performs. And the wild part, most people who do these things think they're being strong, authentic, assertive, or just keeping it real. They're not. They're bleeding leverage in real time. And yes, everyone does at least one of these, probably daily. So let's get into it. Trying too hard to be understood. The fastest way to look insecure, trying to make sure everyone understands you, explaining, clarifying, following up, circling back, sending the just wanted to be clear message. Confidence does not require a press release. If you find yourself explaining your tone, your intention, your boundaries, your values, your side of the story, simply pause, because here's the uncomfortable truth. Secure people don't need consensus. Insecure people want agreement. Secure people accept recognition or indifference. Nothing screams insecurity like, let me explain why I said what I said. No, say it, stand on it, let the chips fall. If someone misunderstands you on purpose, that's not a communication issue. That's a character reveal. So next, let's talk about overreacting to small things. Let's talk about these reactions because insecurity is loud. It flares up fast, it escalates instantly. It can't let things go. You ever notice the people who don't care are the ones who care the most? They're offended by everything, triggered by everything, ready to argue at all times. If every inconvenience turns into a TED Talk, if every disagreement becomes a crusade, if every comment requires a response, you don't look passionate. You look unstable. Power doesn't overreact. Power observes, then chooses. Nothing confuses insecure people more than when you don't take the bait. Silence feels like disrespect to people who need chaos to feel relevant. Next, we're going to talk about arguing with strangers. So let me say this slowly. If you are arguing with strangers online, you are donating your authority, especially if the profile picture is a cartoon or a dog or some quote. If someone with a username like TruthSeeker1987 has you typing paragraphs in response to them, you already lost. Secure people do not debate strangers for validation. They don't need to prove intelligence, morality, or dominance to people they'll never meet. Confidence doesn't argue, it disengages. If you need to win an argument with someone who has nothing to lose, you don't look strong. You look available. So next, I'll talk about over-explaining boundaries. This one gets people very mad. Good. Why? Boundaries that require explanations are negotiations. If you need to justify why you deserve respect, you're already negotiating your value. Watch insecure people set boundaries. It sounds like this. I just want to say how I feel, and I hope you understand where I'm coming from. And I don't want this to be taken the wrong way, but no, say less. Real boundaries are simple. They don't beg, they don't convince, they don't plead. They are stated and enforced. The more you explain a boundary, the more permission you give people to challenge it. Next, I'm going to talk about chasing closure and attention from people. Nothing exposes insecurity faster than chasing closure. The can we talk text, the I just want clarity conversation, the I deserve an explanation demand. Sometimes the explanation is the behavior. Secure people don't chase answers from people who already answered with their actions. They don't demand clarity from confusion. They don't chase attention from indifference. They withdraw their access. Insecurity wants resolution. Security simply wants alignment. If you're always trying to fix the vibe, you're trying to control perception instead of controlling access. So let's talk next about fake outrage and performative confidence. This is really important for you to understand. People who are offended by everything are not principled. They're very insecure. If you need to announce your moral superiority every 5 minutes, that's not strength. That's insecurity wearing a costume. Same thing goes for performative confidence. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful. They're compensating. Real confidence doesn't posture. It doesn't flex unnecessarily. It doesn't need witnesses. It simply shows up, handles business, and then moves on. So, why does everyone do this? Here's the part that matters. Everyone does this at some point in their life. Why? Because insecurity isn't a flaw, it's a signal. It shows up simply when you care too much about being liked. You attach your identity to outcomes, or you confuse reaction with strength. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is self-awareness. The moment you feel the urge to react, pause. That pause is the power. So, in closing, let me leave you with this. The fastest way to look insecure is trying to prove you're not. Confidence doesn't argue. It doesn't chase. It doesn't explain itself into exhaustion. It selects and it withdraws. Then it moves on. If this hit you good, it was supposed to. If you recognize yourself in any of it, congratulations. That's not weakness. That's awareness. And awareness is where confidence actually starts. So until next time, have a great day.